Okay, it's Sunday morning. I'm here at the shop by myself today. Seth and Ivan have gone to, they're out of town this weekend. They'll be back this evening. And I figured rather than just being lazy and not doing anything today, I would get something accomplished. So I'm gonna try to get the four-wheel drive transmission and transfer case in my van today. And I don't know how to go since I'm here by myself. I've got to do some fabricating. I got to fabricate a cross member for the transmission and a couple other things, but I got the torque converter for the transmission, so I figured I'd just go ahead and see how far I could get today. This is the transmission and transfer case we're putting in it. It's a Turbo 400. Everything's good on it. I know it ain't pretty. We'll paint it up when we get it in the van. I'm kind of impatient, so I'm gonna just go on and get it in there today. I am going to change the adapter. It's got the long adapter on it. I don't really like those that hang down a little bit, so I'm going to change that and put a short adapter on it that we've got right here. It just it'll look neater under there with the cross member. And I may try to clock it with a clocking ring. The last 3 vans we built with the 208 transfer cases in them, we didn't clock them, and the transfer case kind of hangs down a little more than I'd like, so I think I'm going to try to clock this one. I don't have the clocking ring now, so that might be something I'll do later. The biggest thing, I just want to get it in there, get it moving and driving, because with the last video we made, when we actually did the four-wheel drive conversion on it, we were just kind of speeding up, trying to get ready for an event on Saturday. We started on it Monday, and didn't have the torque converter. There was a couple more things I wanted to do to the transmission, so we figured we would just get it in there, get it set in like looking four-wheel drive, and just be two-wheel drive. So we did that, made the event, everything went good. I've actually been driving it around town here, just checking things out. But the problem is we didn't have the right drive shaft. The drive shaft that we had, the stock drive shaft, we thought it was going to work, but it was actually too short. So we did something you should never do. We cut the drive shaft and actually added a 2.5-inch section on it. I don't know if it'll show up, but this section here, we cut it and added that in, and that is a big no-no. You should never do that. But we don't always follow the rules, so we did it, and it did okay. And it starts to get a little vibration at around 55 miles an hour, so I don't need to be driving it like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get the four-wheel drive in it today. I don't know how long it'll take. I've got to make sure I've got enough metal here to fabricate a cross member. I think I do. We'll just dig around in the scrap pile and see. But anyway, that's the plan today. And I did have a couple people message on the last video we made and wanted to know why I called my van Timothy. And the reason I do, I bought this van. It was sitting on the side of the road. We were coming back from Michelle's daddy's one day, and this van was sitting on the side of the road. We had sold our other van. I've actually built 2 of these for myself and ended up selling them because we use it for a camper van. This is mine and Michelle's camper van. We've got a full-size bed in the back and carry my generator. So that's what we use these vans for. And I sold the other 2 and didn't have a van, and we were coming back from her daddy's, and this one was sitting on the side of the road. It had a for sale sign in it, so that was on a Sunday. I called on a Monday and talked to the guy, and he said it was his brother's van that he had passed away a couple months before, and they were just trying to get rid of some of his stuff. So made a deal with him, went and picked it up, and when I went and picked it up, his niece was there. So I paid her, and when I paid her, she handed me the keys, and this was the key tag. So ever since then, we just started calling the van Timothy, and it's been so long that we've been calling it that. We're just going to stay with it, because even if I called it something else, I would still say Timothy, because it's just drilled into my brain, I guess. So that's why we call it Timothy. I guess he'll always be called Timothy. So that answers one question. We had another question. Somebody wanted to know, why do you call it the swim shop? It has nothing to do with four-wheel drives or four-wheel drive conversions, and it doesn't. But my aunt works at a sign place, and she called one day. This has probably been maybe a year and a half ago, and said that they had taken down a bunch of signs around town and had a lot of scrap metal and wood, and wanted to know if we wanted to get it before they threw it away. So we went over and looked at it, and we were digging through the pile. This sign was in the pile, and I asked her, what are you going to do with that sign? She said, take it. So we brought it back to the shop. We plugged it up. It worked. So every morning when we come down to the shop, we plug that sign up and unplug it when we leave for the day. So ever since then, it's just been called the swim shop. So that's why we call a four-wheel drive shop the swim shop. It's kind of a stupid story, but that's just the way it is. So that answers those two questions. But anyway, I'm going to try to get that done today. I've got to take the dog box off. I'm going to strap the engine up and hold it up so it, because once you drop the transmission, it'll just be hanging there. So I probably will just set up the camera and do a time-lapse video. Seth usually does the video, and so I don't have any idea what I'm doing. I'll just do the best that I can. But anyway, that's the plan today, and keep you posted on it. All right, got the engine supported. This is the contraption we made. I don't know what you would call it, but this is what we use when we strap the engines up. If we take a transmission out or drop the front subframe out from under the van when we do a four-wheel drive conversion. Just something we fabricated. It's not pretty. It's redneck, but it works. And I guess until an engine falls through the bottom of the van, we'll continue to use it. So got that done, getting ready to put it on the lift, get the transmission out of it. I'll make another video when we get that done. All right, it's about 11 o'clock. Just got the transmission out. Everything went good. I had put that transmission in. It wasn't too long ago, so it wasn't nothing real hard to do. So got it out. I just realized, though, I don't have the tractor here, so I don't know exactly how I'm going to get the transmission off the jack and get the transmission transfer case on it. But figured out one way or another, and get it done. But man, it is hot. It wasn't supposed to be hot today, but I am dripping with sweat, but that's just part of it. But keep you updated. Send another video when we're done. Okay, I'll show you what I'm talking about on the transmission transfer case as far as getting up in there and doing the fabricating. I've got it just, I guess you say, just mocked up in here to see what we got to do. But if you'll look, the transfer case actually is hitting the floorboard here to put it up where we want it. And what I try to do, you can see the transmission pan is kind of at an angle. Try to get it level with the body and the frame and tuck it up under there. So what we'll have to do in order to do that is cut this out here, cut this one out. This one we probably will just leave it alone when we cut it, but once we cut this one out, this is actually the mount for where the transmission will go. We'll cut it out and then weld a piece in there just to reinforce it so we can get the transmission and transfer case tucked up under there more. And you can also see how the 208 transfer cases, it hangs down quite a bit. So that's why I was talking about probably going to do a clocking ring on this one just to clock it up a little more that way to tuck it under the vehicle. But I kind of want to see, just make sure I don't have any problem with the drive shaft hitting the pan once I clock it up going to the front differential. But that's all kind of stuff that you just have to figure out. And you know, a lot of people would say, well, why would you use a 208 transfer case? They're aluminum, they're not strong, but they are strong. They're very strong. Their downfall is they are aluminum, and they'll handle power, any amount of power you want to put to them. But if you're going to do any kind of rock crawling or anything like that, you'll want to build something around to protect it, because you will bust the case on a rock. But we don't plan on doing any kind of rock crawling. And they do have a good low range. They've got a 2.61 low range ratio, so that's why we use them. Like them. and plus it was already adapted to that transmission. So, but that's what we'll do. I'm gonna pull the transmission back out. I'll cut that piece out and fix the relief in there and just make another video and show you how we did that, and then we'll start fabricating the cross member. Well, I got the transmission up in there and everything was looking good. I was checking all the clearances, getting ready to start on the cross member. It looks good as far as how we wanted to be parallel with the body. And while I was doing everything, I pretty much did everything from this side. So I was just looking and checking everything out, and I finally, I walked around to this side just to look. And when I looked up, I see the linkage for the transfer case is hitting. So that is not going to work. I guess we're going to take it out one more time and cut the relief in here for that. So this is the part of fabricating. It's so much fun. My fault. I got nobody to blame but me, but we'll fix it. Okay, it's about 6 o'clock. I took the transmission out again, cut the relief in for the shifter. I've got it back in there. I think we're okay now. I don't know if you can see it. You can see where I put the relief. Now the shifter works fine, so should be okay there. So now we can finally get started on the transmission cross member. I don't know how far I'll get tonight. Probably the last video I do today, and we'll pick it up tomorrow, which I'll have some help tomorrow, which will help me out a lot. All right, it's Monday morning. I got some help today, so I don't have to do the filming, so maybe it'll look better. But we're gonna finally try to fabricate the transmission cross member. And we don't have any new metal. We just kind of dug through the scrap pile to just work with what we got. And since it's my van, I might cut a few corners on it. Normally we would buy new metal and work with it, but what we're gonna do, these are the mounts here where the original cross member goes. We're gonna take these two pieces of angle. We don't have anything that's exactly 4 inches to fit around there. So what we'll do is we'll put these up like that, weld these two pieces together, drill a hole through where it bolts, and then we'll come off with a bar down to the piece of metal that we'll fabricate for where the transmission mount actually goes. So that's the way we're gonna try to do it. We'll keep updating and posting on it and the way the progress goes on. Hopefully we'll have it on the ground today and make it 4-wheel drive. And we've got dug through the drive shaft pile. This is actually the drive shaft that came out of one of the 1-ton trucks that we had. And it's the right size, it's just not the right length. So we're probably gonna have to shorten this drive shaft. I think about 2.5 inches. We'll know when we get it down on the ground and make a measurement. So that's another thing we'll try to do today is get this drive shaft shortened and get it balanced up as best we can. All right, we're working. Ivan's over here getting ready to cut the piece of metal out to mount the transmission mount on for the cross member. And
try to make a custom tight piece.
Oh yeah, it's custom. Look at
It's
this orange.
custom for
Look at
sure.
this orange metal we're using.
Oh yeah.
Super custom. Super custom.
Slick.
We work with what we have though. And I've got the pieces of angle made here and drilled and bolted up. So what we'll do under here is we'll run a bead right here, weld it up good, and take it down and run the inside. And this we'll come off of here with a pipe and run it down on both sides. This side over here we'll have to go around the drive shaft coming down from here and go down around the drive shaft. But we'll get it worked. It's working out. And I know somebody's probably going to say something about this scrap metal we use, but man, we just, especially on our stuff, we use what we have, and that's the way I've done it for years. It's just made what I had work, and it works. It'll be fine. Once it's welded up, everything will be fine. You'll never even know it. But we'll keep making videos and keep showing how we do it. All right, Ivan's got the piece cut out here that we're going to use for the
Pretty rough
the
right
base.
now.
Yeah, he'll clean it up and make it look good. So what do you got to do now?
Well, I'm gonna drill the holes with the pattern that Justin did while we were gone, and then just gonna sock the arms to it that are going to the body of the van, and clean it up, round off corners, and just see
and
what she
then-
looks like.
Then we'll paint it and make it look good, and nobody ever know it was junk when we started.
Exactly.
But here's what he's talking about. This is where it'll go. We just kind of got this mocked up here, but it'll bolt to this piece right here. That's the piece that he's making now. So what we'll do, like I said before, bolt that piece in, and then we'll run our tubes. We're actually using roll cage tubing, coming from here to here, and then the one on the other side, as I was saying, we had to go around the drive shaft. So that's what we're making now. We will keep making videos and keep updating on it. We're gonna bend this pipe a little bit, the one that we're making for the cross member. It's got a little bit of a bend in it, but we know it's going to be more than that and need more than that. So I'm going to put a little bit for kind of a starting point. But this is an old pipe bender here.
Ye old pipe bender.
Yeah, I probably got this thing 20 years ago, and every mud truck we ever built, we built the cages with them with this pipe bender right here. So it's been a lot of pipe. I actually jacked it, was only just broke, so I just use a regular old bottle jack in it now to make it work. But it does the trick. We don't build cages anymore. And this is an old piece of pipe. I think this is a piece of a roll cage kit that a boy had for a Mustang he wanted me to do, and we ended up doing something else. It's just been laying in the scrap pile. But I think it'll work out good.
Oh yeah.
We're just gonna put just the.
It'll
Don't
be
really
fine.
have the right size shoe for this size pipe, but it'll work good enough for this. If you don't get the right size shoe, it'll start crimping the pipe. Like I say, we'll probably have to do this probably 3 or 4 different times to get the right bend in it to fit it up in there and see. So put a little bit in it. See what it does. It might even start crimping it now, so watch it. It's starting to crimp.
Nah. It's all right, I reckon.
Alright. It's got a little bit more in it. We'll work with that. Like I say, we got to go around the drive shaft. We might even put, instead of wanting to crimp it here, so we may even move and put the bend started a little bit here. But we'll play with it and see.
Heck yeah.
Till the next one.
Get her done.
All right, I think we got the cross member about ready. We got it taken out. Ivan's over here now, shaping it up with the plasma cutter so we can get it, get the final smooth on it, and we paint it up and put it back in there. But it took us a little bit longer because I messed up and I cut one of the bars too short that's going around the drive shaft, so we had to do that again. So it took us a little longer than we anticipated, and plus we're kind of like every other shop. We spend 80% of our time digging through a bolt bin looking for bolts, and really most of our time we spend trying to find a tool that we just had in our hand 30 seconds ago. But I think most all shops do that. So we're gonna keep plugging along. We'll keep making videos, and hopefully we'll ride this thing this afternoon. All right, Ivan's getting ready to weld up the cross member. I'm gonna start shortening the drive shaft. This is the drive shaft that we're gonna use here, and it's about 3 1/4 inches too long. So I'm gonna grind this off, grind the end off, cut 3 1/4 inches out, put this back in here, true it up and weld it up, and it won't be perfect, but it'll be good. We've made a bunch of drive shafts like that, and there's a bunch of them still on the road, and usually we don't have any problems with them vibrating. So it's not the exact best way to do it, but that's the way we do it. It's worked out pretty good until it stops working for us. We'll quit doing it. Well, while Ivan's doing that, he's got the grinder. Our other grinder's messed up, so while he's doing that, I've got to change a tie rod in. It just came in today, but this one right here, if you can see, I don't know if you can tell or not. This tie rod in right here is wore out, so I'm going to replace it real quick and then get back on the drive shaft. Got the drive shaft cut. Got the end cut off of it. We'll take, I think it's 3 1/4 inches we got to take out of it. We'll cut that off, weld the end back on, put a new universal joint in it, and she'll be good to go. Ivan's still over here welding up the cross member. We'll have it finished here in a little while. Get it set up in there. All right, we got the cross member in, drive shaft in, and Olivia came down here and we were making a video, and she informed me that I needed to turn my phone sideways to landscape the video, so I'm turning it now. But we got the drive shaft in, got the cross member. Looks like everything's gonna be all right. There's our cross member. We got the, haven't got the front drive shaft yet, but we've got enough clearance here. We mocked the drive shaft up. It'll clear just fine. So I think it's all gonna work out. We're gonna get the torque converter bolted up and see if it'll move. So we put ourselves on a 6:30 deadline. We've got about an hour and a half, so we're gonna work on it and see what we can do.
Her tummy's hurting. His tummy.
His, her, whatever.
You know, what is this anyway?
Well, I heard you went to AutoZone this morning.
Yeah, I left to go say goodbye to some friends at the campground, and transmission started whining a little bit, and it got worse. So I said I'll stop by and get some Lucas rebuild in the bottle. It kept getting worse. And then it makes the first to second shift, but not the third. But it was supposed to be a good transmission. I pulled a dipstick, the fluid was good and red, and 9 times out of 10, and especially on the Turbo 400, if the fluid's red, it's good. And it did. God, we've been driving around, 3 or 4 days, it's done perfect. And it just, this morning, I don't know what happened. It all went wrong.
It all went wrong, man.
So, but we did get we got the drive shaft in.
Yep.
Got the shifter mounted in the floorboard, so it goes in 4-wheel drive. It's 100% operational.
Cross members in there.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Got your mama some steps on it, so she can get her little short butt in there.
Cross member came out good. Everything's good.
Shifter,
Yeah, let's take a look at the shifter.
it's coming all out again anyway.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, shoot, here it is. That's the stock shifter out of the military truck, or just a...
That's the stock one out of the military truck.
It's together, but it's got to come right back apart, which is the story of everything that rolls in here.
That's
Just
what
about.
happens when you don't have the money to buy all brand new stuff. When a customer comes in, they'll give us the money to buy all brand new stuff, but on our stuff, we piece together what we have.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Shoot, yeah.
Well,
Pick it up out of the junkyard, throw it on there.
Yeah, I'm done.
you done?
Yep.
It's over?
So,
I quit.
Yeah, I think I'm done too. Yeah, I just want to take it to the crusher and see what we can get for it.
put it on eBay.
Go. I'll take it. I don't want to quit.
It's a wild world.
Yeah, at the parts store, you can't do nothing.
Yeah.
Can't do nothing here.
What's that say? I can't read. Cuss.
No working, no breathing, no loitering, no soliciting, no trespassing, no walking, no touching, no looking. Towing, will tow, no touching the trash cans, no putting trash in the trash cans, no opening the doors in or out. Wow, it sucks.
That sign says all that? It looks like there's more at the bottom, too.
Yeah, it says after store hours.
Oh.
That's it. You're done, man. I don't know.
There's a lot of buttons in here. Let's start pushing buttons. See if anything happens.
Well, what do you mean? There is no buttons in here. There's a button. That's it, man. Ain't no buttons in here.